I'm Brian Venn. I'm currently working on the newly formed I2 project here in Hursley. Going to give you a quick overview of what I2 is and what it involves. So basically, quick history, I2 is formed in Cambridge in 1990, literally two guys working in the garage. It was bought by IBM in 2011. The definition you get from Wikipedia is produce visual intelligence, investigative analysis software for military intelligence, law enforcement, commercial agencies. Lots of customers, 2,000 organisations, 149 countries. A lot of customers are kind of military based in NATO. So, as I mentioned, this has recently come to Hursley, new teams come along. So, why Hursley? Recently, there was a major contract going on with a certain Middle Eastern country. Now, we lost this contract to our closest competitor in the field because this country, they had 100 terabytes of data. And basically, in its current form, it couldn't handle it. It got to about 3 terabytes and died. Apparently, they were quite impressed it got to 3 terabytes. Steve Mills got wind of this, and he came along and said, right, I don't want this happening again, fix it. So this is why new teams are being formed here in Hursley, centred around largely big data and counter fraud. We also are hiring. There's opportunities there ongoing. Team being led. Michelle Plum will be the manager. Michelle, give us a quick wave. Okay, so what can you actually do with this product? So I'm going to give an example here of the kind of sort of stuff this is useful. So let's say we've got some here. Now this is Matt, a patient X. He's just been diagnosed with a very contagious illness. So let's just say, okay, I'm coming in, right, clock's ticking. I want to find out as much as I can about this person. So show me all the details about him. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff you see. Right, so I've got the person there. I can find out where he works, his car, his computer, his bank account, where he lives. He's a member of a rugby club, his immediate family, and his mobile phone. So that's his initial data. Okay, let's expand it a bit more. Let's look for the hospital where he works. Okay, he works in the neurology, there's various departments, neurology, cardiology. This guy works in the emergency department. Okay, the emergency department. Okay, who does he work with in the emergency department? Because they might have also been exposed. He works with Fred, Tony, and Susan. Okay, let's go further. Let's look at where he lives. Okay, so down here where he lives in 29 Acacia Road. Immediate family, Eric. So I can now tell, just from that diagram, okay, he lives with his brother at this address, so we probably want to haul him in. Find if he's got it. Okay, let's look at his mobile phone. Okay, mobile phone records. Okay, recently he's made one call to one person, but he's made several calls to this other person, so I probably want to find out, okay, he's been in close contact with this person several times. We probably want to haul them in, find out if they've got it. And basically expanding the whole thing further, we can look at like the rugby club, who's a member of the rugby club, have they played anyone recently, have they had any matches, his bank account, you can look at recent transactions. So kind of from these diagrams, we can form a big picture very quickly of where this person is and who they're linked to. So basically then, when you've got this data, you can haul this into another tool called the IBM Analyst Notebook. And from this, you can produce all kind of diagrams, like charts, heat maps, what's happening, when it's happening, where it's happening, overlay it with various other things, produce timelines, heat maps, things like that. So out there in the real world, this is actually, as I mentioned, lots of people actually using this. This is a diagram I saw when I popped up to Cambridge this week. This is a diagram showing the international trade in illegal tiger skins. See on the left there, he's a big player, show who's he's linked to, where he's linked to, kind of where his money's going, who the big players are in this game. Also, you see ISIS. This thing is actually being used out there to track ISIS. This was a story on the BBC News website saying that the experts are being paid the link to get the data together to go after these guys. And there was actually a link off that story on the BBC News website over here. And this is a map showing all the bad guys linked to ISIS. Another one, okay, again, this is in the fictional world. Now, this thing's reputation is big enough to be mentioned in Tom Clancy novels. So one of the ones he wrote before he died, just to confirm, IBM I2 Analyst Notebook, they're in black and white. So this thing's reputation is good enough to be used in Tom Clancy novels. And finally, again, trip to Hursley, trip to Cambridge, you can't quite see this very well. This is the guy on the top left that you can't really see. He's looking at some information. That is George W. Bush. And basically, the information he was looking at there was to do with the 9/11 attacks. So again, this thing's out there in the real world catching bad guys. And that's me done. Spot on.